when an order comes in, that sound of ka-ching, it goes off your phone and everybody gets excited about it. So when you hear that money sound coming into your phone, a lot of Southeast Asian retailers find it very auspicious to hear that money sound coming in. Just treat AI like a sidekick, like another extra employee. So the extra employee will be able to help you on stuff like image generation or even something simple like crunching data. The one trend that we see for retailers is this unified commerce. So being unified commerce, whatever data that I spend offline should also be synced online. And then the kind of behavior that I have online also should be similar to how I shop offline.
A lot of people talking about AI nowadays. So how does AI fit into e-commerce? Hello listeners, welcome to the Asian Century podcast. Today we have Jumpstart Commerce here with us. We have the Managing Director, Xavier Lee. And today we are going to talk about something very interesting, which is AI and e-commerce. So before we start, let me introduce Jumpstart Commerce. So Jumpstart Commerce helps small and medium businesses to succeed online through expert commerce strategy, design, and of course, marketing automation. Xavier, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yes, so as you can see, Xavier here is all in red. And he is actually, the Jumpstart Commerce is in 5 countries, mostly in Southeast Asia. And before we started, we were just talking about the different e-commerce scenes here in Southeast Asia, from Singapore, where we are shooting this, to Thailand, to Malaysia, and also to the Philippines as well. Right, so my first question to you, let's get into your story here. So in the early days, what are some of the turning points that made you into the Jumpstart Commerce you are here today?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question because we actually started the business back in 2002. Back then I was young and naive, I guess. So right out from university, I thought I could just start out on my own. We started a web design agency back then, long time ago. From there, and then we start building on ERP integration, etc. and all those. The turning point came to us when 2016, Robinsons wanted to do an online storefront. So they had a quite timeline. So with that tight timeline, we were looking for solutions, etc. On how we can help them accelerate that go-to-market. And that's where we found Shopify. So the go-to-market was quickly done within 3 months. And then we start thinking of it as a business. And then we can roll this out to more businesses across Southeast Asia, and we should bank on what Shopify is doing on the platform and then roll it out across the different countries. So from then, we've been growing with Shopify across the different markets, especially understanding where they are looking at for their go-to-market strategies. So we became Shopify experts back then, and then roll up into a Plus partner. So we became partners to different enterprises also to understand their retail strategies doing cross-borders. So 2 types of customers would come to us. One would be direct-to-consumer brands doing cross-border. The other one would be international brands coming into Southeast Asia trying to do their own brand.com. And yeah, so we just grew organically because most of our retailers would want to do from Singapore to Malaysia or Singapore to Thailand, or Thailand to Singapore. So we just grew our retailers organically from there.
Yep. So you started from that Robinson store. What made you choose Shopify back then?
It was, so I think one of the criteria that they had was, because back then, 2016, e-com was still very new. Load balancing, online traffic was a consideration. So we had some of the consideration for the different platforms that we were looking at. Shopify seems to fit that bill where you can, as a retailer, you can safely sleep at night. So you can launch your product, you can do any hype launch, load won't be an issue, sleeping at night. And then if they can sleep at night better, we can sleep at night better. So that was one of the criteria for us. So if we can sleep better, everyone else in the team can sleep better, and then we can just focus on what we need to do.
Yeah, and Shopify has a lot of notifications, right? So you can see, this, a next sale has come in.
Yeah.
So like you said, we cannot separate today like commerce and Shopify. Most of the world already know what is Shopify. But can you also explain, just like you said, you have a Plus partner, and then today you are a Premier partner. Is it like different tiers of partnership, right?
Yeah. So I think before I mentioned that, so I want to mention about the notification for Shopify. It's something interesting is that when an order comes in, that sound of ka-ching, it goes off your phone and everybody gets excited about it. So when you hear that money sound coming into your phone, a lot of Southeast Asian retailers find it very auspicious to hear that money sound coming in. So to explain a bit about the partnership program, Shopify rejigged the whole partner program this year. So there's about 5 tiers of partnership now. The first one will be as a registered partner. You just start off your Shopify journey as a partner. You come in, you become a registered partner. Then, as you grew in terms of experience on building Shopify stores, you became a select partner. Then, of course, once you start doing enterprise merchants, you become a plus partner. That's where like you have done maybe 5 enterprise clients, etc. So we became a premium partner. It's just one on top of that plus partner. So we basically work with quite a fair bit of enterprise merchants around the region. To mention, we work with the Como Group in the region. We work with Central Group in the region. So that gives us that wealth of experience to handle any other enterprise merchants. So they put us in that tier, and we're the only one in that tier currently now in the region. There's about 42 premium partners in the world. That takes out about 0.04% of top tier partners in the world.
Yep. So you are the only one in Southeast Asia, right, in the region.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah. So talking about Shopify, my next question is, how does it help? You said you have a number of enterprise clients. So how does it help enterprise clients?
For enterprise client, they love Shopify purely because of the lower total cost of ownership. They can roll out, go to market faster than any other platform. And they standardize the way you do order fulfillment, order management, product management, etc. So, for example, we were in a proposal with a direct competitor. We told the merchant, say, why don't you just try out Shopify alongside with a parallel installation of another vendor or another platform. So what happens is within 3 months, we've already rolled out 3 brands on Shopify while they're still struggling getting a go live for the first brand. So they decided from that on that they just swap every single brand installation to just go onto Shopify. And then the one thing that enterprises like about the learnings from Shopify is that once they get to go live on one of the brands, they can use the same learning across every single brand that they have. So that is standardized in that sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you are in 5 markets right now, right? We just talked about like different markets from Philippines to Thailand. So in these different markets, how do you help these enterprises dominate their space?
So different markets will have different nuances, meaning what is applicable for Singapore may not be the same for Malaysia and may not be applicable for Thailand. So what happens is we take that wealth of knowledge that we have across the different verticals. For example, a beauty brand comes to us, say, I want to roll out a different expansion stores across the different markets. So Singapore would have its own store, Malaysia would have its own specific store, and so on and so forth. So what we do is we tweak the mechanism that marketing mechanism across the different markets. And because we understand Southeast Asian mentality, we understand that different markets need a different tweak. So for example, like Malaysia, in the Malaysia market, you could be having more promo mechanics versus Singapore. So Singapore would want to have like the newest and latest launch of beauty products. Malaysian market could be more sensitive to price, so they could be buying more during, like for example, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So taking that knowledge that we have over the different countries, we can then advise customers specifically on how they can launch new products, for example.
Yep. So like in Malaysia's context, we have a lot of like double-digit days, right?
Correct.
And like some countries, they have like Black Friday and different ways. So that's how you help them to actually dominate the market by understanding the culture and also the different dynamics in the market as well.
Correct. And I think to add on that, we had experience where we had a luxury brand that came to us. So talking about double-digit days, some of the consumer of those double-digit days didn't want to be part of those double-digit days because they don't want to be seen as I buy discounted items. So I want to be seen as like VIP customers. I want to be treated as a VIP customers. So for double-digit days, we don't target them. we target those that are price sensitive customers, and then they get the promotion mechanics for those during double digit days.
Yeah, so because you also work with a lot of premium and global brands, right? So namely, you have things like Dior, Paula's Choice, Beyond the Wines, and Buy Invite Only. So for these renowned global brands, how can they have their own sort of like different e-commerce strategy?
So something interesting would be, for example, Buy Invite Only. So we've been working with them since 2016 or 2018. We've been growing together with them, trying to understand their perfect customer profile for them, and we also keep a lookout on what the global trends are for their industry. So when we come to the table for a strategic meeting together with them, we can tell them, hey, there is this specific trend. For example, before COVID happens, there was this specific trend of people going live, like selling on live. So then, of course, for brand owners, they would think like, okay, I don't want to cheapen my brand because I don't want to sell on live back then. And then just nice when we were talking to them, COVID happened, and then go like, okay, we need to go live. So what can you tell us about how to go on live? And helping them to go on live, help them to even penetrate more customers because that's like a TV channel for them. So I say just treat it like a TV channel. Let them just watch for entertainment, and then maybe tell your brand story, how you progress as a brand. So consumers nowadays, they want to feel more connected to the brand owners. Even they would have a makeup session. So instead of going to retail storefront, you get to see somebody doing your makeup online. That becomes like a tutorial session on how to do your own makeup with your products, etc. So that helps them put that retail storefront at a scale, right? And then I think that's more important. If you have something at scale, you can then push it out across the different markets that you have and experiment that.
Yep. So, like you mentioned, like during the pandemic, a lot of these brands scale online as well, and it's good to hear that they are humanizing the brand, like you say, do their makeup tutorials, your workshops online, and that's a different e-commerce strategy that they can explore. So, can I ask you also on local brands?
Can.
All right. So for especially very interestingly for Southeast Asia, we do have our own local D2C brands, right? So, can you share some insights on that?
Yeah, so I think for D2C brands, we see them growing from the markets that they are focusing on. So, for example, like Singapore brands would focus on Singapore. So, like Beyond the Vines started off as a D2C brand within Singapore, and then now they are across different regions, like in Japan, Thailand, so on and so forth. So, for them, or like for any D2C brand, I think that mindset of growth has to be from day one. Right, you need to be able to understand that your market may tap out at a certain GMV, and the same type of customer profile may not just be found in your own market; it could be in another market. Is how do you reach out to those other markets and then grow together with them for those customer profiles? So we help them discover through analytics on the back end. So we would flag up to them like if a certain market size goes beyond 20% of the GMV, I think that is a signal for them to actually go and physically try to start a retail storefront at those markets. So, for example, if 20% of my sales coming from Malaysia, I would want to explore whether I can do a pop-up in Malaysia with the same brand story that I have, go out and reach out to those customer profile.
Yep. So it's understanding those analytics and see how they can scale, especially here in Southeast Asia. Any for example, like Thailand or Philippines, any other brands that you can mention as well?
Yeah, so we work with a female-focused brand called Moom. So Moom Health has been focusing a lot on problems of women across the region. So they did what they call community days across Singapore and Malaysia first, like to roll out. They were because they see health is wealth. They also work with other brands like collabs with other D2C brands, like for example, activewear brands like Chic. So Chic and Moom actually did a community day where you can actually work out together with different female community across the different markets, and then collaborate together, and then work out like do Pilates together and stuff. So from those learning, we see both D2C brands actually coming together and share the problems that they have or share the growth mindset that they also have, and also try to see how they can further influence other woman-focused brands to come on board onto this journey together with them. So it's not a lonely journey with them. Yeah.
So we are very community based here in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So we are called the Asian Century Podcast. So of course we are very passionate about Asian and local brands as well. So congratulations, you just won the Promising Brand Award in 2024 in the Singapore Prestige Brand Awards. What does this mean to you? It's a great award. What does this mean to you personally and also as a company?
I think personally, I think that was one of my checklists that I had when we first started our company. So I would put that award high up as similar to Entrepreneur of the Year award. So I think that is the next checklist that I need to check off after this award. So that basically, as a company, it gives us that testament that what we are doing is in the right direction, and we have like a panel of judges telling us that you are doing things right. That gives us that signal on like, oh, but during the panel of judges, it gives you that thinking process. So like, what am I not doing right? Should I be thinking about what they are talking about, right? So then that gives us that signal. Okay, maybe this year I should be focusing on some other things versus like whatever that we've been doing. So one of the judges was asking me like, okay, if what you've been doing for the past few years, focusing on Southeast Asia, what if that is not the thing that you should be doing? So that gave me a step back. I was like, okay, like what do you mean? So we had a conversation. So what if you have another market that is supposed to be for you, but you're not looking up for those markets? So that gives us a thing that maybe we should focus on like any other market, like Australia or Dubai or something. So that's also part of the roadmap, that whether we should be expanding our services into those markets also.
Yeah, looking beyond Southeast Asia potentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. All right. So now we'll talk about AI and e-commerce. So AI is of course the buzzword for these few years, and a lot of people talking about AI nowadays. So how does AI fit into e-commerce?
I think right now for merchants, there's a few business problems that they're facing. One would be manpower issues. Two could be creative inputs also. So I think AI right now would solve some of those problems. Just treat AI like a sidekick, like another extra employee. So the extra employee would be able to help you on stuff like image generation, or even something simple like crunching data. So e-commerce has, if you have structured data in Shopify, you could actually crunch those numbers through AI. So Shopify actually launched two new features within the platform. One is called Shopify Magic. So Shopify Magic is supposed to help you solve creative roadblocks in terms of copywriting. I want to launch a new product, but I'm not sure what the product title is supposed to be. So then you just need to input what you are thinking, and then Shopify Magic will generate some product titles for you. And then that generation will also be SEO friendly. So that sees that connectivity between e-commerce and AI, right? And then the other thing about the sidekick is like, for example, if I want to have sidekick to run crunch numbers for you, you could actually ask them, hey, for my last 3 years of data, what should I be focusing on in terms of this Black Friday, Cyber Monday? They would churn out that numbers for you and say, hey, maybe you should be focusing on white tops instead of black tops. So AI will be able to help you, at least give you some suggestion and give you that direction and what you should be focusing on right from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think the first thing first is using Shopify, you get a lot of data, you get a lot of data points. So in the past, we have nothing to do with the data. You have to manually look through it, you have to export it, and then you put into all those data software and see what happens. So now Shopify has its own features, right, to better utilize and better see where the opportunities are, right, whether it's sales or whether it's products that are not doing very well. So there are more opportunities there. Of course, AI is a hype or buzzword, right? So what should businesses really focus on besides what you just mentioned just now?
So I think right now, for retailers, I see this is their turning point. At this stage where AI is right from the very beginning, the one thing that they should be focusing on would be the structured data that they need to keep within the platform. If you're not on Shopify, you should just swap to Shopify and then have that structured data that you have, and then focus on what the kind of data that you want to collect, right? So collecting customer data is very important. Collecting structured and meaningful order data, that's also another thing. And of course, your product data needs to be structured and properly done. So that gives you the opportunity, as a new brand, for example, it's no longer about David and Goliath. I find at this stage it's about everyone's is a flat playing field, and everyone has a starting of point, like it's no longer from 0 to 1, it's from 1 to limitless, right? You can then collect the data that you need to have and then try to do some personalization right after that. So understanding customer profile will be much faster, and being able to scale from there is, I think that is limitless in that sense.
Yes, so it is a level playing field. And yeah, for e-commerce stores that you work with, they have many products, many SKUs, many sizes, many product variation, colors. So it's very good to get the insights whether red or gray or what size works well in this market, and you have all these different market variables as well. So that's very interesting. So it's very exciting times. And before this interview, you also mentioned how it shapes the experience now. So how does it shape that online experience?
Yeah, so I mean, if a brand knows, for example, like even my customer profile, if a brand comes to me and go like, this person knows that he only likes red, don't bother showing him anything white, black, or whatever. So my filter is always the same. Size red, anything in my size, I'll just buy it. So it's very straightforward, right? So that journey from top of the funnel to checkout is very, very fast. So just to give you an example, for example, if somebody is searching for a fridge and then someone's searching for an oven, we kind of know he's in the persona where he's either moving house or he's a new homeowner. So with a new homeowner or moving house, you know they are looking for similar set of appliances. With personalization, you could then push them, hey, have you thought of the toaster that you need to have, or the sofa? Would you want everything to match in the same colors? So those we can, as long as you set up those personas properly, that personalization can happen quite interestingly, and push them to increase their sales easier for them.
Yeah, it's all about the recommendations, right? It's like, I'm shopping for this, like I have a certain shoe size. So, and if the AI will pick up that I like certain brands and certain colors, then say, okay, if you buy this, you can also buy this as well. So that's very cool and very important. So I think AI is all exciting. And I know being in Asia as well, that digital or AI is not too common yet. Right. So when it comes to AI, one of the things you mentioned just now is data, right? So to work very well with AI, you need a lot of, like, especially using Shopify already, you have a lot of data. That's great. But what are some of the challenges that they face when they adopt AI?
Yeah, so I think one of the few key challenges would be they don't know where to start. There's too many things to start, and I don't know where to start. And there's one misconception where AI is an expensive solution. Right. But I think some of the apps within the ecosystem within Shopify already has AI inbuilt, and it doesn't cost you much. So it could be like, for example, a solution that does not have AI versus a solution that have AI. It could be just a $5 difference. So with $5 different, you could just expense it out like another extra sidekick that you want to have, and just use those solutions. So I think start off with repeatable and monotonous items or departments that you can start off with first. So for example, order management. You could then think about inventory forecast. Because you have this amount of orders that's coming in during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, do I need to forecast certain inventory for that period? And AI can go through the 3 years of data of Black Friday, Cyber Monday and try to see, do I need to order more? And am I selling out faster during Black and Friday, Cyber Monday? Am I missing out those sales? So just doing the incremental, simple things will be able to help you increase your average order value and also increase your customer retention. Because ultimately, it's about improving your business operations and being able to scale up from there.
Yeah, I can see why that is very important. Being from Malaysia, we have a lot of festivals, right? So you want to predict, whether Raya, Chinese New Year sales, it will go up as well. And you serve a lot of e-commerce companies that also have retail stores, right? So how does AI help with that online and also offline strategy?
So I think the one trend that we see for retailers is this unified commerce. So being unified commerce, whatever data that I spend offline should also be synced online. And then the kind of behavior that I have online also should be similar to how I shop offline. So for example, if I'm a beauty brand and I've collected enough customer profile of how my skin is like, for example, if I go online, I can swap out certain storefront components and then just show similar skin profile that you should be buying, like certain products for you. So when I go offline, the same customer service will be able to pick up, hey, this is Bob, I'm coming in, maybe I have certain type of skin profile. I should just focus on those skin profile to sell him. Right. So I shouldn't be selling other profiles that may not be fitting his skin profile. So that is one game changer. The other game changer would be customer service, customer support. So customer support, as a retailer, as a brand, they don't operate 24/7. But as a consumer, some consumers sleep 4 o'clock in the morning. Some consumers wake up at 8 o'clock just wanting to check whether the store is open, for example. So having a good customer service that's driven by AI, some that will solve first level problems. So first level problems could be, hey, where's my order? What time do you open? Things like that. So those FAQs could be solved by AI and answered by AI. Second level hypercare could be, hey, I've received my order, but there are some problems with it. How can I do returns? Then AI can solve some part of it, but then of course, once your office starts kicking, you can then solve the second part where, oh, what is it damaged? How can we recover those problems? So AI will give you enough problem to hand off to the second level problems and then be able to solve those things.
Yeah, like you said, they are a sidekick, right? So imagine them as like another customer service staff that can help you with all the simple challenges like, store openings and product questions, and also simple challenges that they can help to solve. Speaking about how businesses can use AI, what are the trends that you see out there, Xavier?
Yeah, so one of the interesting trend that we pick up is actually AI avatars. So AI avatars, to explain it, is actually a AI that has a avatar format and then is able to sell the product that you're having. So a lot of newer brands are using it for a UGC, content is generated for testimonials, etc. Because the problem that newer brands have is that they are not able to collect testimonials at scale. But it's a loop, right? So if I can't get testimonials, I can't sell my product. So some of the brands start off with having AI avatars to be able to sell the product for them in terms of testimonials. Say, hey, my product is this, and then I've used it for a few months, and then I think it's great, etc. and all that. So we see that trend happening. It gives them that lower barrier of entry for them to start scaling right from the very beginning before they actually collect a real influencers testimonial, because they may not have that budget to be able to get influencers to do those UGCs. So going that AI avatar route gets them economies of scale, putting that UGC across all the different ads that they need to do.
Yeah, it's for today's rate of technology, it seems very real. Like the way they speak and the language they use and the way they use the product can seem very real as well.
Yeah.
So we've covered the AI part, right? So I'd like to end this interview with a last question. So e-commerce is very exciting here in Southeast Asia and also Asia as well. It's getting more and more. We're getting more e-commerce brands out there, and I'm excited for more and more Asia brands to be out there. What is your advice for Asian commerce brands out there?
I think the first advice I would give you would be, if you're not on Shopify, you should be, because if your competitors are already on Shopify, they will already be ahead of or years ahead of what you're doing right now. Right. So I think that's one. Then the other one would be focusing on the data that you need to collect. Whether or not you're going with AI in now or in the future, you still need that data anyway. Start collecting the data that you need to do and have it structured so that when you are ready, you can have those data and AI done things for you properly, right? I think those are the two key takeaways that I would leave it to you.
Of course, the first one is the very important one.
Yes.
Right? Without the right platform, Also, it's very hard to actually collect the data and have all these functionalities as well. What if they are not on Shopify? What happens then?
Then they need to find me.
Yeah. What happens? Yeah.
They find me, and then so basically we can help you migrate, build your storefront, migrate, and then focus on the business operation that needs to run on Shopify. We can help you automate those things, and then of course, then from there we can help you scale your e-com business.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Xavier, and also thank you to Jumpstart
All right.
Commerce.
Thank you for your time.